Hi, the practice that we're going to do today is based on the works of American psychologists Kristin Neff and Germer. And this very simple practice, it could be 5 minutes and it can be done with the intention to help us gain a sense of calm and so that we can make effective choices when we are overwhelmed with unpleasant emotions. The intention of this practice is not to get rid of our unpleasant emotions. First of all, it is done to help us cope with the presence of unpleasant emotions. A lot of emotions are unpleasant. For example, sadness, anger, jealousy, disappointment, anxieties. These are very common emotions that we all feel as human beings. And we cannot force them away. Our life is like a weather. Sometimes it's sunny, sometimes it's rainy, sometimes it's windy. We can't control it. As best as we can make do with the weather and make the best out of it. So there's a saying that when you rain, you learn how to dance in the rain. Or you take out an umbrella so that you can go outside to do your stuff. So our emotions are like a weather. So using this ACS technique, it can help us make peace with the weather, our emotional weather I meant, to actually help us gain a sense of calm so that we can be in control or in better control of ourselves, to make effective choices so that we can live the life that we want to live. So A stands for acknowledging and allowing. So whenever you have an emotion inside you, it's always in our body, below our head. The emotions are always felt, be it anger, anxiety, you're shaking over, when you're angry, you're fuming, your fists are clenched. So every time we are experiencing an overwhelming sensation, we always feel it in the body first. It's not so much in the head. Our thoughts are in the head. We hear ourselves talk to ourselves inside the head, but our bodies always feel something. So A, it is about acknowledging. A, acknowledging our thoughts, our difficult emotions. For instance, okay, I acknowledge that I'm having a sense of anxiety or anger inside me. And we can acknowledge it and pinpoint the position, the location of this emotion inside our body. It could be here. Most often, when people feel an overwhelming sense of emotion, it's always here in the heart. Or it could be in the gut. Some people feel it in the throat. Or it could be even in the chest. So we acknowledge that we are having a sensation of difficult emotion. And we are having thoughts of certain things in our head that's causing us to behave in a way that is unpleasant. So first of all, we acknowledge it. And then we allow it. Our thoughts are very automatic at times. We have been conditioned to think in a certain way, and that causes us unpleasant emotions. And unpleasant emotions, very often, we do not want it because it causes us to not function effectively. But the more we try to avoid the emotion, or the more we try to distract ourselves and ignore the emotion, the more we can't function effectively as the emotions get bottled up and it gets out of control. So we acknowledge it and we allow our difficult thoughts and emotions to come and go. We can even visualize us putting away our thoughts, on a sushi belt, so that thoughts get away. Or we can visualize ourselves putting our thoughts, surrendering our thoughts, onto the river, so that the river brings away the thoughts and the emotions. But if it doesn't, it's okay. The intention of this practice is not to force away or avoid any unpleasant emotions. It is to make peace with it, actually. And after acknowledging and allowing your difficult thoughts and emotions to come and go as they wish, like the weather, we go on to C. C stands for common humanity. Many times when we are overwhelmed with unpleasant emotions, we always think that, oh, we are so unique, only we are the ones suffering. We are only the ones who are experiencing this kind of emotion, but it's not. Come to think about it, when you're calm, we rationalize and become logical. Actually, everybody experiences anger, sadness, disappointment, grief, anxiety at certain points of our time. And so, common humanity helps us to anchor ourselves. When we practice C, we always talk about and remind ourselves that there are a lot of people in this world who might be or are experiencing the same situation as us. And they are feeling the same way as us. So, we are not alone. It is common to mankind that we experience a range of emotions, be it happy or unhappy, pleasant or unpleasant ones. It is just part and parcel of life. It is part and parcel of humanity. A lot of times we live in this world and we just are wired to think that, oh, every day can be like a good day. Every day is supposed to be a happy day. Every day is supposed to be a sunny day, but it's not the case. If we are true to ourselves, a lot of times, it is 80-20. 80% could be happy or pleasant, and 20% could be unpleasant. Or it could be the reverse order. If you are in distress at the current moment, you could be having 80% unpleasant emotions and 20% pleasant emotions. And that's so common. It is all just humanity. We are just human beings. And we experience all sorts of emotions. We don't have to avoid it. Neither do we have to be averse to it. We accept it. We let it come and go by itself. And lastly, in the ACS model, we have S. S stands for self-support or self-empowerment. So there are a lot of things. Remember, when we are kids, when we are children, our parents tell us things to soothe us, to encourage us. But unfortunately, not all of us have nurturing parents. Not all of us have nurturing friends, relatives, or a nurturing environment that we grow up in. So very often, we do not receive that nourishment from the people around us or from important figures of our lives. And hence, we grow up having a very critical self, having a very critical self-dialogue towards ourselves. And that is not helpful. That's not empowering. So what we can do is to be cognizant of it and to always speak to ourselves in a self-empowering manner. It could go like, I'm just a human being. I experience a lot of unpleasant emotions. It is but natural. I'm only human. I'm only human. And it is human to experience unpleasant emotions. I don't have to force it away. I'm unique to my emotions. And other people are feeling the same way as well. Given people in my situation, having gone through or been through the same thing as me, they would have felt the same way. Example, I've lost my job. I'm feeling anxious about not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. But it's all just so human, right? To be experiencing anxiety. So I self-empower myself, and I tell myself, as I locate my emotions in the heart, I tell myself that it is okay, it is okay, it is okay at times to not feel okay. I don't resist my emotions, I don't resist my difficult thoughts. I acknowledge them. And difficult emotions and thoughts often have a purpose in our lives, and that is to motivate us to resolve the issue, or even to make peace with the issue, to cope with the issue. Some issues cannot be resolved, and some issues can. For instance, if I were paralyzed in an accident, and doctors say that there's no way for them to help me stand again because my nerves are damaged. So it is something that we cannot resolve, right? And this is one of the many situations that we have to make do, just make do and make peace with it. And self-empowering statements could be nurturing in the sense that they are kind, they are patient. When the world is not patient and kind towards us, we can be patient and kind towards ourselves because we love ourselves. And just like a friend, if your friend is struck with a very difficult situation, are we normally kind and nurturing towards them? Most probably are. So if we can be self-nurturing towards our friends, we say things that are empowering, we say things that are soothing, and why can't we say things that of the same nature to ourselves? Are we not our own friends? And very often, we grow up in a society that is very critical, and we are not our own friends because society seems to propagate that we have to beat ourselves up, we have to criticize ourselves so that we can be strong, we can be motivated to do things that are right and better for us. But why not? We use S to self-support ourselves. Because if you whack us ourselves too often and too much, at the end of the day, we will get a very unhappy self. We will get a very embedded self, and we will not be able to function in a way that is empowering. So let's recap. We have the ACS model. A stands for acknowledging and allowing after you identify the location of the difficult emotion in our body, which is very important because emotions always motivate us to do something that's useful or not useful if we do not know how to utilize our emotions. C, common humanity. We have to remind ourselves that we are not alone in our circumstances. We are not unique. Everybody experiences things that might not be pleasant at certain points of their life. And S, self-empowering or self-support dialogues, inner dialogues. We can even tap ourselves, just like a parent. Normally a good parent, a nurturing parent would tap their child, their babies, to soothe them, to give them the confidence, to encourage them to grow up and to face and overcome things that they face. Remember, like how babies learn how to walk? Parents do not scold them, do not criticize them, but it's with encouragements, with support, with compassion that babies learn how to walk. And we, all of us, learn how to walk via a very encouraging circumstance. So I wish that you will be able to practice ACS just as we discussed during our session. It is a new way of responding to ourselves. ACS is a way, and it is commonly known as self-compassion work, as defined by American psychologists Kristin Neff and Germer in their work on self-compassion. I wish you well and peace. Thank you.